Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to another episode of Once Upon a Game, Season 4, where we're playing Avery McDowell Notes, The Quiet Year. This is a wonderful, wonderful map drawing story game. It's one of my favorites. And, in order to play any game, we got to have people with you, right? So, if you don't know who I am, I'm EricVulgaris, and I'm going to be the host and facilitator today for Once Upon a Game, the story game one-shot show. And with me, I brought four friends, or four conscripts, in some cases, and some ritual sacrifices. Only that one's special because that one doesn't know that they are it. So, this is going to be a surprise. So, anyways, I'm half kidding. Welcome, and let's just go down in order and see how everyone's doing today. So, Sam, welcome.
Hello, I am doing really well. It's good I haven't been on Once Upon a Game in a really way too long of a time, so it's good to be back.
It's true.
Yeah. Oh, I just noticed that dog in the background of Nicholas's camera, by the way.
He's a good
That's
friend.
awesome. I love the dogger cam. Yeah, no, I'm doing good. I had an amazing one shot on AP's channel last night where Saito, who's an excellent artist, drew while me and AP played one-on-one Mistborn adventure game. And I about had my heart ripped out of my chest. It was one of those sessions where at the end we were like trying to like talk and like rap about the session, and I was just like,
my heart, yeah.
Yeah. So that was fun. I played essentially Hercules Mulligan if he was massively incompetent and fell in love with a British officer. So that was good.
Oh, a tailor, a soldier, a spy.
Yeah, I was a spy, and I ended the session getting killed in a horrible fashion, and watching my the NPC that I hoped to become my fiance get turned into a Steel Inquisitor, which, if you've read the Mistborn series, you know is not so great.
Good, yeah.
So that was fun. That was a lot of fun, and other than that, I'm excited to play The Quiet Year.
Awesome. That's a really good story. Yeah, thanks, Sam. And Sam also plays in my Burning Crowns game on Sundays. So you can see that on Sundays at 11 p.m. Pacific time. So, cool. Thank you. Another returner to our show, a long-standing veteran of the Once Upon a Game Wars, Golden H. What's up, man? Hey.
Hey. So, I'm supposed to be running RPG games on my channel too, but we haven't played for 3 weeks, and the not playing jitters have set in. It's like I'm going through withdrawal here.
Yeah.
Maybe it's not this way for everybody, but for me, like when I GM, it's almost like an alternate state of mind, where like everything takes on different symbolic meaning, and man, just jumping between that is just really jarring. Oh. So I hope we get to play soon.
Yes, I hope so too. I know AP was super struggling with his game of his 5th edition game, where like it was really hard to get scheduling, and going anything past 3 weeks for a game is always hard.
Yeah, I don't know how people played bi-weekly or monthly do it, because you miss one session and it's like you haven't played in an eternity.
Yeah, it's like I have no idea what's going on, and apparently if you don't play even in 1 week in Burning Crowns, we start describing what type of breed of cat we are. That's what we're dealing with.
I blame Caterize.
Yeah, that's true.
You guys just got confused and thought you were playing Cat Guard.
Cat Guard. Cat. I would call them cataphracts. I think would probably what I would do if that was the game. Anyways, we also got some newcomers as well. Leviathan Vials. Hey, hi, welcome.
Hi, my name is Taylor. I run Riverhouse Games. So we are a games company that focuses on queer and LGBT inclusion in tabletop games. I write games, and I have 3 podcasts out. And some of them actually update on a regular schedule. Some of them don't. So I definitely can empathize with that whole 3 months. Not 3 months. Well, listen, folks. The whole going a while between games. Yeah, it's a rough go.
Yeah. Well,
what's your podcast called so we can all go watch it?
Oh, good idea. There is the Leviathan Files, which is my first one on my sort of like handle. That is a Mass Effect D20 actual play. I also have a chat interview show called Game Closet, where I talk to queer and LGBT tabletop game people about like projects that they're working on. And then I started one this year, which is actually the reason why I was excited about doing this episode specifically of Once Upon a Game. It's called From the Jackals to the Shepherds, and it's a micro podcast where I play The Quiet Year 1 week at a time.
Yeah. Oh, that's such a good idea.
That's awesome.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Ask you this. You run a Mass Effect game.
Yes.
Is there any like homebrewed Reaper lore you've come up with?
Not a whole bunch.
Okay.
So without giving too much away, the name of the show is kind of a spoiler, but we do a lot of lore with the Leviathans. And it's been pretty fun to like dig into that. I will say for people not familiar with Mass Effect, it's definitely easy to jump in. It's accessible to people without any familiarity with lore. So yeah, it's been a fun time playing around in that world.
Sweet. I'm just a huge lore nerd, so I had to ask.
Yeah. Oh, gotcha.
Look, all I know, Golden, is that we're playing the Quiet Year, and I do know that seasons don't fear the Reaper.
Nor the wind, nor the sun, nor the rain. And speaking of the wind and the sun and the rain, Thumb Drums. Hey. Hi, welcome.
How's it going? Thanks. First time here. I don't know what to say. I'm pretty new to role-playing games in terms of playing, at least. I've been like a fan of actual play podcasts and reading games and stuff for a long time, but it's never really gotten together to play a whole lot because I live in kind of a rural area where there aren't really a lot of opportunities, but
totally
glad to be here.
Cool. Yeah, I'm super happy to have you. Once Upon a Game, for if you're just new and tuning in for the first time, it is absolutely a show for people who have like either never played a game or absolute experts game designer people. It's for everyone. These games aren't exclusive in any kind of way, and they're all just kind of a one-shot experience. So I always give the same kind of pitch every single time. So like before I get into the Quiet Year, what we're doing is something very special. It's creating a game, and that requires a lot of listening, a lot of sharing and openness to like reincorporate other people's ideas, and kind of it kind of makes you a little bit vulnerable in a way, I think, in a lot of ways, and it makes something very special. So you might be wondering how to do that though, and the best advice I can give you is just to be obvious. Say the first thing that comes into your head. Oftentimes that is what you think is obvious to you is not very great, but 9 times out of 10 it is exactly what the scene or whatever thing's called for, and it's perfect and everyone understands it usually. Like it works almost all the time, and it's fantastic. And sometimes the obvious thing is just like not obvious to everyone else, and it's completely obvious to you, and you think it's like gonna fall super flat, and all of a sudden everyone's just like, what the, oh my god, it's amazing, and just it works out fantastically. So just play with tropes and stuff like that. It's totally no big deal. It's great. It's an easy thing to do if you just are comfortable with those types of things. And and the second thing I just wanted to do real quick is, because we're also playing a game and we're gonna be talking about stuff and going with the first things in our head, and we also are complete strangers, just make sure that we are we realize that we are also human beings playing a game, and make sure that we realize that. And so if there's any kind of fictional content or something that's really, really upsetting to you, we're not doing this out of like willy-nilly, like just because I don't like something, but like if you genuinely have a problem with it, you never have to justify why. If you have a problem with it or whatever, let me know in the way that you prefer. Obviously we're streaming, so it's a little bit awkward, but like you can either vocalize it or private message. We have a Zoom chat, that kind of stuff. Whatever way is possible, let us know and we can fix it. We are all smart people. If even it's like an hour into the game and there's something like, I really don't like this like thing that's bothering me, like I actually don't really like spiders or something like that, right? Like that's cool. We're smart people. We can work around it, right? I believe in us that we can resolve those types of things. And so like that's the X card essentially, but I totally believe in the whole, that's like the weapon of last resort, right? Like I totally believe in just being like, hey, like can we like fade to black in that scene, because I'm not really cool in the whole gore stuff, that kind of like anything really, just like okay, and scene kind of, right? So just tastefulness. We can totally curse here. That's fine. That's not a problem. And with that all the way, we just agree to be adults with one another and be excellent to one another, and we're good to go to make some games. Okay? Excellent. Cool. So let's get into The Quiet Year. The Quiet Year, once again, it's a storytelling map drawing game by Avery McDonough. And before we begin play, we just have to do a couple things where we're going to kind of like come up with a sort of like a palette, I like to call it, like from Microscope. So we get some ideas about what we're thinking about and then putting them on the screen. I'll get into that a little bit. And then we're going to declare some resources that exist in the world that our community is going to be founded on. So this whole game is predicated on this idea that we are a small community of people, roughly around anywhere between 20 to 50 to 100 or so, give or take. And we have just fled from what is called the Jackals. And for 1 year, we get to rebuild our community in this new area and create something special. Because in the winter, the Frost Shepherds arrive. And that all ends. But we have this year, we have this moment, and we're gonna make it count. So that's the game in a nutshell. So let's go ahead and begin play. So I'm gonna start with the palette. I'm just gonna do a quick little like yes/no thing. If Roll20 will let me.
I have a weird idea I'm thinking about.
So have we all played Microscope before or no? Probably not. Doesn't matter.
No.
Okay, cool. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna take turns saying some like concepts and kind of themes and things that we want in our game, and as well as things that we absolutely do not want in our game. And we're gonna use this palette as sort of a idea to draw inspiration from for the remainder of the game. As well as our own, prompts from the cards and such like that. It's also a way to make sure that we don't get content that we don't want into our game. For example, if we don't want to do a magical game, then putting like, hey, I don't want to have any kind of magic at all in our game, then then we were already clear about that up front, right? Okay. So I'll start. Something to also consider about is maybe like what kind of genre or like kind of thing we want to do first. Any ideas about that real quick from anyone? Like, do we want to do... This is a very open game. We could do sci-fi, we could do fantasy, we could do real life. I've done A Quiet Year where we are surviving on zeppelins over like a forgotten dinosaur world. I have done The Quiet Year where we're literally like civilians torn in a war-torn conflict in like the Middle East where like we're waiting for the ceasefire. So like I've done Saturday morning cartoons. I've done like hard, real, like nonfiction, and it's an amazing game. It works in both capacities. It's just like, what are we feeling, guys?
This might be an oddball request.
Just real quick. I'm sorry, real quick. Very rude of me. I forgot. What's everyone's preferred pronouns?
Yeah, good color. I use he, him, or they, them.
Yeah. Okay. I'm he, him.
I also go with he, him.
Yeah, most people use he, him for me.
Yeah.
Okay.
He, him.
Cool. Awesome. Yeah. I just wanted to make sure real quick. Thank you. Cool. All right, let's go ahead and jump into this then. Okay, so what are we thinking in terms of like a high concept genre?
So I want to do it in the Matrix after the AI have left Earth.
But like in a computer?
Either in the computer or in Zion. Interfacing with the computer, what's left of it. So maybe the aliens left humanity behind completely, and there's no use for them. But
so definitely like post-apocalypse Matrix.
Yeah.
So like post-apocalypse. I don't even know idea what you even call it at that point.
But if you guys don't want to do that, also just fine. It's just
okay.
This idea got in my head the other day, and I was like, yes, this would be amazing.
So like something kind of sci-fi. Like
yeah, I'm definitely on board for that. The only thing that jumps out in my mind as far as a no is I would rather not have us be building a theocracy, because that is what I do on Sundays with Eric. Sure. So I'd like to go a different direction and do something a little bit less theocratic.
Yeah, it feels like the religion in the Matrix was more spiritual. Anyway.
Okay, so there's still religion in the game, just not necessarily theocracies.
Exactly.
Like,
like I'm totally fine with like having like a religious angle doing that.
There's certainly cards that have like prophets and stuff like that on them. So I just wanted to make sure where we're getting at for that type of stuff. So that's cool. Perfect. That's fine with me. That's excellent. Okay. So no theocracies. That's perfect. So how about someone else go?
I would like to say no, and this might just be like a thing to put in like our lines and veils sort of deal, rather than like in a no column. But like I draw a hard line at substance abuse and dependency, but that's more for like personal reasons than any sort of like genre things.
No, I think that should be in. That's perfectly fine to include in the no category.
Sure, cool.
Oh yeah, for sure. That's good stuff to know. Something I do want to see then in the S category. So I'm gonna put also like, so we're talking about sort of a sci-fi post Matrix. I kind of dig the idea of a Zion kind of thing. Like it's more realistic. I feel like it would be really weird to describe a world that's in another world already, kind of like that. I think doing it from the perspective maybe of the survivors of like a war against the machines is definitely something we could play with.
Yeah, post singularity is like really interesting to me.
So sci-fi post Matrix. Yeah. So something that I definitely want to see. I definitely want to see weird vehicles. You know, like ships, motorbikes, and weird things, and just as cool ways of getting around.
Yeah, totally.
Do you have anything, Thumb Drums?
I don't know. I'm trying to think. I'm so far I'm pretty on board with what everybody's been saying.
If you could add one thing to the mix that we already have.
Like, what's your thing? You love music, or?
Yeah, I mean, yes.
Like, give us like audio inspiration then.
No, okay. Like if you want music, like do you want music to be important?
Sort of a feeling, like a soundtrack that could be happening, like in the background.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, even just flagging music as an important thing to our culture is cool, right? Like that even that works.
Yeah, that
right?
could be. Yeah. I wonder if that gets like too close to a theocracy though. At some point, if that's like
a music accuracy.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't feel like it's stepping on. I specifically don't like in Eric's game on Sundays. We're like legitimately building like a complete theocracy.
Yeah.
So as long as we avoid that, that's all I was going with the no.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, that's fine. Like it's totally cool also to not have anything, and if we're totally kind of open with it, then we can proceed. But I just want to have an opportunity for us to. Also, this is not the only time. Like, you know, if you don't say it now, then you're never gonna get your chance, or you know, that kind of stuff. This is negotiable through the game, right? I feel this is just I think this. I find the palette helps. It's not actually part of the game. This is a hack for it from Microscope, but I find it helps get us kind of get the blood flowing on sort of the same page as we get started. Okay.
Jumping off of your idea of weird vehicles, I think like hodgepodge technology would be kind of cool.
Yeah, like, for sure. Okay.
Yeah, so like basically like from like the vehicles to like tools, like I feel like everything is like making use of things in a way that maybe wasn't how it was intended to, but it's like this is what we have. We're gonna turn it into something useful.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Okay. I feel like then. If there's anyone else have anything else to add, we all want to pass. Cool. All right. Now we can actually begin play. The way this is going to work is that we're all going to add a detail to the map, and I recommend you guys all just pick a color or some kind if that's relevant, and we're all going to pick some part of the screen here to kind of draw what this is. This is a physical feature of the world. And then I'm just so you can think about what you want to add to what this world looks like. This is because this is going to be the beginning parts of the map that we're going to be using the rest of the game. We're going to be including a resource that's based on sort of these territories, and that's going to be a thing that's important to our society. Okay, so keep that in mind as well. If you rather just are really super interested in mountains and draw mountains, and you're not sure what's on the mountains, that's cool too. We can work through that. Or if you know that you want to have like some weird crystal, and you don't know how that crystal grows or where it's from, we can work from there too, right? Either way works. So what are we thinking? Anyone want to go first? I feel like I'd rather let the people who are like, oh, I got an idea, I want to do something. What is it? Go first, or if someone's super excited, chomping at the bit. But otherwise, if you would prefer a more regimented, like I go, Sam goes, Golden Age, Leviathan, Vials goes, Thumb Drums goes, I'm cool with that too.
I mean, I've got something if we're just going that way.
Yeah,
and first off,
so.
I want to apologize to chat now for my awful drawing, because that's going to be something that is a continuous factor in this game.
Totally fine.
But I think it would be kind of cool if like we're like not so much in the ruined city, but like nearby are these sort of ruined husks of cities, and maybe like that's where we sort of get this stuff that we turn into our weird vehicles and hodgepodge technology.
Yeah, works for me. So you want to draw that?
So like,
hold on. I guess we should be clear. Like, so is our society's underground, right? Yeah.
How do people feel about being underwater?
No, underwater.
Underwater is cool. Yeah,
on board.
So maybe the city's on land. Like we have to like surface in order to like go. It's like the reverse of like diving for like tech. You have to surface to like get the useful technology.
I had an idea that like there was a space beanstalk. So maybe it's not a city, it was just a rubbish pile at the bottom of the space beanstalk of like all the technology the AI decided they didn't need to bring with them. It's just a giant rubbish pile of abandoned science.
So is this the city?
Yeah, I'm drawing a building, and I was going to draw the rubbish pile all around it.
Okay.
Nice.
But if Golden wants to draw the rubbish next to my ruins.
Sure, I'll draw some weird rubbish.
Okay.
I'm going to draw some waves up at the top here.
Nice.
I'm going to zoom out so we can get better space. I can move our palette away.
Oh. Ran into the edge of the screen. Also, never apologize for any drawings made in the quiet year. That's half the fun.
Oh, for sure. It's preferred to, I think it's actually in the rules, just don't write the labels to things. They have to be symbols at least. Otherwise, do an actual pictorial. Thingy. Cool.
So, is the city is underwater? Is that what we've drawn here?
Yeah.
Okay.
So like, is it actually like underground? Is it underwater and then underground, or is it underwater? Like, what's it called? The thing, the game, no gods, no only men, Art Deco, Bioshock. Yeah. Somehow I remember all the aesthetics, but not the name. I'm sorry.
Initially, I was thinking like the city was on land and we're underwater, but I think that might be kind of cool as well. If it's like it's like the world flooded, kind of deal.
Yeah, we to escape the robots or whatever, we flooded it, right?
Nice.
Sure, works for me.
I'm gonna redraw all my waves then.
Groovy. So what I'm going to draw away from the city. That's a square. That's not a freehand drawing. So I think there are volcanic vents on the bottom of the ocean here. that some of them have steam coming off of them, and some of them are curiously cool and could be explored.
I like that.
So I'm gonna draw some pockets. Yeah, works for me. Maybe it's even lower underwater. Cool. And what are you thinking, Thumb Drums?
I was sort of thinking of like also sort of away from the city, but not out of eye line, maybe out of eyesight, maybe. I'm thinking of it like as a wreck, like a weird, like some weird wreckage, like some
yeah, definitely
kind of machinery. I'm not really sure how to draw it.
Yeah,
so
you could draw literally a UFO broken in two, man. Like,
that'd be pretty good.
You know, like whatever works, man. Like, yeah, that's a perfect description, right? Like, yeah.
Where's undo?
I live in Minnesota.
I just select and delete it.
Make frequent trips up to Duluth, which is on the shore of Lake Superior, which has just an almost supernatural amount of shipwrecks at the bottom of it. But it's so deep and the water is so cold that like bodies don't rot and like the ships don't break down. So there are like diving excursions to go explore these like horrible shipwrecks, and then everything is just like perfectly preserved, and it's terrifying.
Yeah,
so
that
I love that.
That is really terrifying.
So I'm thinking from like the resources angle right now. And I'm wondering if like a cool resource might be oxygen. And maybe you guys can like help me like fill in, because I'm not really sure like where it would come from, whether it's like we have like piping or something. But like I think it would be interesting if like one of our concerns is like there's like oxygen is a limited resource. We're underwater. Yeah. We have to think about that.
So yeah. A cool thing with that, and this is where I like expose how geeky I am about aquatic RPGs. Is that a lot of plants photosynthesize to live, and their byproduct is oxygen. So what do we think about like a literal farm for oxygen where we have plants that are, exposed to sunlight, and there's a glass mechanism that catches like air bubbles or something, and that's what we harvest for our oxygen supply.
Yeah, basically, awesome. Between that, we might need oxygen, but we probably have like, in the future we figure out power, and then we just electrolysis the oxygen.
Ooh, that's cool too.
Yeah, like it makes sense that we just get the. I mean, like I don't. So, further, maybe this should be part of the palette or not, but like. You don't have to scientifically justify anything to me.
Yeah.
Okay? I'm totally cool with you just going off and describing something that you think is cool and not have to be physically justified. I realize I should say that after I just said, it could totally be electrolysis. So, like, that's just me getting nerdy and excited. I do not need that. I would not require. Okay? Yeah, glass bubble thing. Cool. Nice. That's cool. So... All right, so I should start making a list, by the way, over here to the right of these resources. And then we're going to specifically pick some things that are in abundance and then things that are scarce. Mm-hmm. Okay? So this is good. So oxygen is on the list. It's unclear whether or not it's in abundance or anything like that, which is fine because we have to come up with our three other ones. And so what I had in mind for mine was all the weird creepy crawlies that hang out near the vents. We eat them. That's food.
That's good.
Cool.
All those like weird shrimps and stuff.
Mm-hmm. Well, and the vents have those like. Do they have those worms that are in them? That
Yeah.
are
Oh yeah.
red?
Oh, we love those worms. Oh yeah. So actually, yeah, I'm glad you drew the glass bubble with the sunlight and the reverse jellyfish. And I'm gonna draw some red worms coming out of some of these vents because that's what we eat.
Nice.
Right. And this is our food.
Thumb Drums, did you have a particular like resource that you were thinking of for your wreckage, or is that like more of where our technology comes from?
Yeah, I guess I was thinking of more of as a technological thing than
That's good.
Or a knowledge thing.
Yeah. Well, that's good. Yeah. I mean, resources can be also abstract, like hope or technology or structure or like, what do you call it? Where you live?
Shelter.
Shelter. Thank you. I was like, what? Words sometimes. I'm sorry. Thank you, guys. Yeah, exactly. So what are you thinking? I'm sorry. I cut you off.
I don't know if I want to say knowledge as a resource, but
oh, that's a great one.
Yeah, really like that.
Like that is what I was thinking.
Knowledge of like liberal arts knowledge or scientific knowledge.
I don't know. Maybe.
Do you want to do the flip side of it? Do you want to do superstition?
Ooh,
the superstition in abundance.
Superstition.
Yeah. Right. Like both of those, you could do either way works. That's why I just brought it up.
Yeah.
I definitely think you're going the right way. Like that's a good idea. Like technology knowledge is could be a resource or it could be the opposite. What do you think? It's totally your call.
I know. I think because one of those pushes me towards wanting it to be an abundance, and one of them pushes me toward wanting it to be a scarcity. But I guess that's not something that we decide right now.
I mean, just think about like, what story do you want to tell?
Yeah, I think
the story of not knowing.
I think that's I think
knowledge.
I think knowledge is what I want.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect. Okay, cool. So we have oxygen, food, knowledge. And what's our last one?
So, sight.
Ooh.
Because we're underwater.
Yep.
The water's polluted.
Vents are kicking up sulfur.
Yeah, we're not going to be able to see very far at all unless we go indoors, where it's going to be very dark.
Y'all, this is a spooky game that we are coming up with.
Yeah, what do you call it? This is is there another game about this? Isn't there another like horror game about being on the bottom of the ocean?
I'm developing one with Rich Howard right now.
Nice.
I think every game at the bottom of the sea is spooky.
Yeah, it's a good time.
No. The worms come out of the volcano vents?
Yeah, right?
Oh no.
They live around the cold ones. That's how we know that those ones are safe to be around.
And we don't know any better. This is the only thing we can eat. We probably tried like everything by trial and error. It was just, all these worms don't kill us immediately.
I mean, you're probably right. Cool. So we have oxygen, knowledge, food, and sight. Now we should pick some of these to be in abundance. And actually, I think it's specifically which one is in abundance and the rest are scarce. So one of them is in abundance.
I'm really leaning towards food here. Yeah. I kind of like the idea that like the one thing that like we know that we can get because we're so close to these like these vents that are kicking up nutrients and sulfur is like no matter what, as long as the vents don't stop, these like crustaceans are going to keep coming.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. How spooky is that? That just like every time we cut out a worm, another one just like worm.
Oh, thank God! It's so hot in there. Thanks, fellas.
I mean, maybe these worms are like a mile long.
Whoa!
Oh, that is good.
That's good. Okay. Oh, let's save it for the game. We're getting good. These are good ideas. Let's save it for the game. Awesome. Okay.
Okay.
Great. So now here's Hydra Worms is great. That's a great one, Happy Dose. Yeah, I'm probably gonna call him that. So now we can actually play the game, and the way this game actually now gets played after we finish and completed this setup turn is very easy. It follows the same algorithm for every time. It's a turn-based game. We're each gonna draw a card from a deck. This time in this case, it's the spring deck. And because it's a one-shot, and we're doing this in an abbreviated format, we're going to abbreviate the seasons from being 12 cards. We're going to narrow it down to 8, just so we can go through a little bit faster, and so we get to see all the seasons. And you're going to, so when you get your card, you're going to resolve the card, whatever choice it has for you, fictionally describe what it says, and then you have your 3 different action types. And I'm totally going to sneeze, so just give me. As soon as I say that, hold on.
You jinxed yourself.
I jinxed myself, so I'm good now. Haha, see what I did there? Get wrecked, body. So, we have 3 types of actions. So once again, it's pick the card for the season, resolve what it says, make the choice on the cards, and then choose an actions. And there's also a little reference card in Roll20, so we all see what I'm talking about. But the 3 actions we can do are, and I'm going to introduce the last mechanic of the game by going through these actions. So the first one is discover something new, which means we draw on the map some more, or we change something on the map. The next thing is start a project. A project is, if we wanted to explore what's above the ocean or whatever, then that would be a project. We would draw something on the map that represents the project, and then we would put a die on the map that represents the countdown to the project resolving. And so each week it counts down. The maximum weeks is 6. The shortest is 1. Obviously you don't count down the week it started, but then you do that, and when it's finished, you the creator of that project, decides what happens to it. Okay, projects can never be projects for badness. They have to be for goodness. And by goodness, I don't mean like moral goodness. I mean, it can't be like in 6 turns everyone's dead. You know what I mean? Like, it has to be, I'm going to go discover. It could be we don't discover anything on the surface and people get mad, right? And speaking of getting mad, we're in the last type of action. So there's 3 actions, right? Discover something new, draw on the map, start a new project, and the last one is have a discussion. So when someone's turn and they're doing stuff on like, describing a new fictional thing that happens, we're not allowed to say like, oh man, people are going to get like mad about it, or like, oh man, we should talk about that. What do you want to do with our project? No. You get to say what the project is. If you or someone else in the community has a problem with having that project, you take what's called a contempt die, or a contempt token. I'm going to make a bunch of contempt tokens while we're getting started. Don't worry about it yet. They don't significantly do anything other than visually represent angst in the community. And the way you resolve this angst is by having a discussion. So you have to spend a turn to ask, hey, what should we do about blank, right? And if you ask a question, then everyone else gets to go, and then you get to go last and say what you want. Keep your answers to 1 or 2 or 3 sentences. This reflects that it's hard to organize a community and get consensus, and getting consensus takes time. It takes labor. So keep that in mind. And so then you can also then at any point in someone else's turn or even your own turn, you can remove contempt tokens if you think people have done stuff. You can Sithmaster in chat ask, can you contempt a discussion? Absolutely can. In fact, I think in order to maybe help things along, you might see me write some little notes to the side of the screen here, like names of people or like factions, because this game, we don't play characters, we play the whole community. That doesn't mean that some people in the community doesn't have names that we can interact with and stuff like that, or titles that can change or anything like that. We can totally come up with that stuff. It's just that no one owns any particular person. Okay? But if you think a person or a faction will get really mad at a choice, like holding a discussion instead of being like, dude, we're running out of air. What are you doing talking? Like, we need to, you know what I mean? Like that kind of stuff. You could totally just grab contempt tokens. Everyone can grab a contempt token if everyone feels the same thing about something, right? Like, these are all possibilities. Okay? So that's it. That's all I got to say about the rules. Once again, there's a little rule thing on the in the Roll20, because this is the Roll20 app marketplace version of the game. So it has everything already with us. So who would like to actually go first? Because I don't have to go first, unless you would rather me see when we have an example done.
I would love to go first.
Awesome. Thank you. Do it. That's why I frantically find some good tokens for contempt tokens. I know what I'm going to choose. Right. Go ahead. Thanks for your patience if you already actually have played this game, by the way, and you just heard me spiel through the whole thing.
Oh boy, so. This is how you draw cards. How do I play
Yeah, so you drew a card, and now you have to click your little hand below.
Yes.
And drag it on screen.
All right.
It doesn't automatically default to
that's a small little buddy.
Fixed.
Thank you. So
the Ace of Spring.
Yeah, this is a fun one. What group has the highest status in the community? What must people do to gain inclusion in this group? Or are there distinct family units in the community? If so, what family structures are common? And I think that since we are a sort of like a fractured community after war, I think that we don't have traditional family units. I think we have a lot of like really strong platonic bonds and like large group of like found family sort of structures. So we don't have like traditional like I'm just seeing these contempt tokens pop in, and I'm like, please don't be mad.
Oh no, I'm just getting them set up. I'm getting them set up. Don't worry.
Yeah, so I think we have like families of choice as like people find each other like as they need to.
I like that term, families of choice. That's good. I like that a lot.
And I don't quite know how to draw that on the map, but I'm gonna give it my darndest.
I guess I shouldn't suggest.
Yeah, what's up?
No, you can. If you want to reach out for help, you can totally can.
Yeah, go for it.
I was thinking like
how to visually represent something.
Yeah.
Opening where everyone lived, or.
Oh yeah, like a big like community center.
Yeah, like instead of like houses, we have large areas. I don't know exactly what you're gonna go for, but
I like arch just because I think that there's a lot of symbolism and like iconography there. So I'm gonna do that.
Yeah.
That's a good suggestion.
Like
Thank you.
St. Louis arch.
Oh, I was going for like the big like flat top arch.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. Like
a big like monolithic sort of
like
deal.
Big bus stations.
Ooh. I dig that. Okay, cool. So I'm gonna shrink down the card again, put it off to the side.
Nice.
And roughly, if you want a contempt token, you can kind of put it above the C. I'm gonna mark some, so it's basically so everyone else at home can watch and who has contempt and where. I'm just gonna like make a little note here.
Ah.
I'm putting our initials where you can put contempt tokens. Okay.
You probably shouldn't use that letter for me because no one else knows my real name.
Well, your name's Will in Roll20, so.
Oh, it is. Okay.
Your game space is gonna fill up really fast. Yeah, but through the power. So Happy Dose mentions that we're gonna fill up our game space. Probably right. I can through the power of the internet and through the power of Roll20, I can make more space.
To infinity and beyond.
If I can actually type. Is it really? Wait a second. That's weird. No, there we go. Space for the space gods.
Heck yeah. Nice.
That is a typical thing that happens in the quiet year from my experience is everyone's like, oh, let's move everything down.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's easier to like draw proportionally when it's like on an actual sheet of paper. But so it goes.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. So do we want to go like in order from here or just sort of throw out people?
Yeah, isn't there usually an order?
Yeah. So you should.
Next? Am I next?
Yeah. Sorry. So the next. Yeah. So after you. Have you done your project and everything?
Oh no, I haven't done my actions.
Yeah. I didn't think we were done. Sorry.
Yeah. Good call out on that one. I think for my action, I'm going to start a project. So since we have a scarcity of oxygen, I'm going to make a project to sort of try to open up the water and make it clearer above the our little oxygen farm.
Awesome.
And that's going to be a tough project to do. So I'm going to put that at 6 weeks.
Wow.
I don't know quite how we're going to do it yet, but
sure. So you're going to put that out over the oxygen farm?
Yeah.
Maybe that's like part of what takes so long is like everyone's got a different idea for like what the best way to clean the water is, and so like it's like trying to figure out what to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So if you could do something for me, Taylor/Leviathan Files, could you just go ahead and use like 56 or 72 point font and just write the 6 there, and then just modify it as play goes for each turn?
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah,
nice.
That's perfect. Good for me. I realize though that if can I zoom in and not ruin everything? Yes. Okay, perfect. Ruined. So
does Leviathan have another action, or is that to Thumb Drums?
No, that's it. And now we pass it over to Thumb Drums. So we're drawing from the spring deck, which is the third one from the bottom. They're not in order. Not sure why, but so it goes. So deal yourself one of those spring cards. And once you got it, throw it on the screen and I'll enhance.
Stop.
It's cool. Yeah.
Enhance.
What's cool is that in Roll20 you can pick up things and move them, which is not something you can do in real life.
I'm not able to do that.
I feel like I should probably make you all GMs and then we can all do it. But in the meantime, I am the Neo. I am the one with all the power.
You also move stuff you drew.
All right. Okay, so so you gave yourself a card. It was in your hand. Okay.
Got it.
Oh, there it is in the middle of the screen. Loop, loop.
You also zoom in on things by just pressing the Z button on your keyboard.
Okay.
So there's a disquieting legend about this place. What is it?
Yeah.
Or alarming weather patterns destroy something. How and what? Ooh.
It's your choice.
I like both of these.
Yeah. Disquieting legend or alarming weather.
Yeah, I wanted to pick disquieting legend, and alarming weather seems too hard to justify a little bit since we're underwater. I guess that could happen, but I think the legend is that, I mean, we kind of already talked about this, but there's something deeper underneath these volcanoes under here.
Oh, for sure.
Or there's something.
Oh yeah,
There's something very bad.
Something else eats the hydra worms.
Yeah.
You know, like
where there's prey, there's a predator kind of deal.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay. Cool. Do you want to mark that on the map?
Geez. Let's see.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so also Happy Does mentions in chat, players can move anything the players move have drawn. So I think anything you've drawn yourself you can move, but anything that I draw is immutable. Whoops. By you. That's okay. Perfect.
This is, yeah. Very good drawing of skull and crossbones down.
I actually love it because it like makes it look like a non-human skull, which makes it like so
even
much
more
better.
terrifying. Yeah.
Yeah.
Dig it. That's awesome. Great, thank you. And now, now that you answered your card, we get to take your turn. So.
Oh right.
The great evil is Pirate Bay.
Yeah. So you guys can grab these tokens, right? Just real quick. Does it work?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, cool. I thought I gave you guys access. I just wanted to make sure. Thank you.
Quick question. Don't want to interrupt you there, Thumb Drums, but I just want a clarification. So with the projects, do those just automatically tick down, or do we have to tick them down on our turn?
Oh, sorry. Yeah, the 6 needs to go down to a 5. So when you're done resolving the card, that's when we count down projects, and then once projects are done, that scene takes precedent over the turn part, and then it continues.
You don't have any Blaze in the Dark clocks, do you? Here?
Oh, that's a great question. I do. I will set it up on break though.
Okay.
That's a really good idea. I never bothered adding it. I have an add-on for that. That's an amazing idea. Thank you.
Sure.
Great. Cool.
All right. Are we ready? I think I've come up with my thing. I think I want to hold a discussion. And I want to start with a question. And my question is, what are we going to do about all this junk around where we live?
Cool. So then I guess I will begin. And the elders speak very reverently about the junk. The elders are extremely reticent about going exploring, knowing the dangers, knowing the weapons that lie in wait. Cool. Sam goes. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that there's a in like opposition to the elders, there's this like young woman. Maybe they like call her like architect or something, and her name is Hoyt Kiani, and I think she is always like tinkering with stuff and is always like wandering through the junk and like putting things together. And so she's trying to organize a group of people against the elders where it's like, this isn't junk. This is useful tools. We need to use this stuff.
For sure.
I think the veteran warns about things left over from the wars that could kill everybody if we don't take proactive action.
Leftover weapons.
I'm taking one.
I think that there's like a small kind of like dumpy looking middle-aged man who kind of like pipes up from the back and goes, "Oh, they say one man's trash is another man's treasure. So, it looks like there's a big pile of junk out there, but who knows what might be under there. We might want to go rifling through us sometime."
Nice.
Yeah. And I'm just going to take another one.
And then that's wraps around, or does Stumdrum not get a say?
No, he gets to say. Yeah.
Yeah, I do, right? Okay.
Yep. So, after the end, after everyone's gone, you get to say.
Yeah, I think there's a small group of citizens of our community who are just like, get that shit out of here. It's just like, it's just an annoyance. Like, clean it up. Like, things used to be better before. I guess there wasn't a time before we had all this junk here, but like that kind of attitude, like, like clean it up.
It's dangerous. Yeah, it's dangerous, so it needs to be cleaned up. Yeah, right. We're saying dangerous. Don't touch it, and as opposed to no, it's dangerous. Therefore, we need to get away from it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm taking contempt.
Thanks for the host, AP Gaming Reel. We were talking about your amazing shows and everything earlier today. So AP Gaming Reel is an amazing streamer and a good friend of mine. So, okay. Thank you. That was awesome, Thumb Drums. That was a good turn. And now it's going to be my turn. And I think I'm going to go. And then afterwards, I think we'll hit our first break. It's about the top of the hour. Okay, so let me deal myself my card. Well, that's frustrating. I'll fix that in post. My hand extends off screen, so I have to move it. So anyways, 6 of hearts for spring. Are there children in the community? If there are, what is their role? Or how old are the eldest members of the community? What special needs do they have? And of course, I'm going with the eldest here. Of course, the eldest are okay, and I'm gonna need you to make sure this is okay, Taylor. I believe that these are the ones who were never quite able to jack out of the Matrix or so, and so these are the ones that have to have some sort of like surrogate, some sort of like connection to like their back to like either like a battery pack or like something like that. So they have some sort of like, so they're not like in the Matrix or anything like that, but they are absolutely like they have to have some sort of like they have some sort of relic or legacy to their time in the Matrix. And like the oldest people of that totally have it. I can see how that could kind of been like a drug kind of thing. I just want to make sure that's okay. But like that's
I definitely think that there's ways to take that can avoid any sort of like drug metaphors. So good.
Okay, thank you. I just want to be considerate. And so there's absolutely a group of them, and so I think there's a they do this near the oxygen. There's a small little like community center. That has, I'm gonna call it the I don't want to call it the pod, but I'm gonna draw a it's kind of like got like an antenna array kind of thing built to it, and it's like one of the last kind of relics of technology that still kind of works. And by works, I'm using a very liberal use of the word works. It's enough so these people don't die. Yeah. Right, but they're kind of like constrained to being tethered to this building because it's like, you know, it keeps them alive, it keeps their brainstem from going weird because of the, what do we call it? We call it the Exodus. Of course, we call it the Exodus. From the jackals, right? Like this is a thing left over, and so these are the people who are unable to make the complete transition.
I also like the idea there that like since it's tied to a location, it's like, if you want to go talk to the elders, you have to go to them, right? Like there's no them coming to you, you know?
Exactly. So, I think this building is known for it has like orange technological like lights around it. And so it's always easy to find under the water, but it has like, not like strobe lights, but it has sort of like this like slowly circling light pattern, almost like, you know, like the effects of a movie theater, you know, like the, what do you call the things outside, or like a theater, just a regular theater. Not the spotlights. No, like in front of the not the menu, but the thing where the shows, the screen,
like a marquee.
Yeah, thank you. It does the marquee light kind of like things around this technological building.
Nice, I like that.
Cool. And so then
I'm actually giving my contempt token back because I think that's such a rad image.
That's totally fair. You do not have to actually be justified to do things, but if someone like that happens, it's totally cool.
Yeah. That also,
I never described that, but you don't have to be fair with contempt tokens.
Right.
That like also like really evokes that like Wachowski imagery to me, playing off that like Matrix theme of like they always kind of have that kind of look to it, I feel like.
Yeah, and I just want to make sure I didn't skip any parts of my questions for the elders, right? So that's their special need, is that they still have their relics from the time in the Matrix. And so they're pretty old. There's not many of them left, I think. Only by virtue of, you know, like our surrogate stuff is kind of not, our surrogate power source is unreliable, right? And so like anyone can go, but like we're doing our best. The opening Blade Runner scene. Yeah. That's definitely on the list there. Okay, so our project ticks down. And then it's my turn to do something. And I'm going to discover something new.
Cool.
For the first time, our Hydra worms aren't always coming back.
Oh no.
So I'm also going to remove our abundance of food.
Yeah, that's going to be contempt.
Does that make
it You can totally grab contempt for that.
Does that make it into a scarcity?
Yes.
Okay.
Or at least not an abundance, right?
I mean, I'm asking.
Yes.
Yeah.
The default, the Eric giveth, the Eric taketh away. Exactly. So we're not. There's no. It's not like there's no more worms. It's just that, they took a couple days to come back, or that one took a week. It's unreliable now. We don't know what's going on, but it's not as easy as it is before.
Okay.
It's no longer you just walk in, grab a worm, and leave. It's now like you gotta like actually go fishing for worms. Or something.
There's like lines for worms now.
Yeah, worm lines. Exactly.
There's
Cool.
people crawling into the wormholes.
Yeah. So that's my turn. For spring, we still got at least was it? I'm said 8. We're doing 8 of them, so we got 5 more for spring, which is fine. So we're gonna take our first break, everybody. We're gonna take 5 minutes, get more water, go to the bathroom, and then maybe a snack or something, and then we're gonna come back and we're gonna keep playing some more Quiet Year. All right, guys. So we'll see you on the other side of the break.